guys, so I am asked almost daily what leather edge paint to use, how do you do it, what do you need to get started, because a couple of my patterns call for leather edge paint. First of all, you don't technically need to paint the edges of any of my patterns, because for those projects we're using a self-healing textile, so if left raw, no harm, no foul. It's not a big deal. I just personally like the finished look painting the edge gives. Some people will even use like a Sharpie just to blend in like a white side to match the exterior color of their project. It works. Whatever's within your budget, your skill level, or whatever, if this is a hobby or a business, it's all personal preference. So if you want to start using leather edge paint, what I started with was a Edge Flex from my local Tandy. It comes in a pretty big bottle. I've also seen Edge Coat off of Amazon that's readily available to most people. So you would need a paint. Black's a good one to get started, or a brown, those basic neutral colors to see if you even like it. I mean, you don't even have to buy these huge bottles. They come in smaller sizes as well. And then you're going to need some sort of tool to apply it. I'm also a big fan of this Craft Tool Pro. It's got this little swivel applicator end that will just pick up a little bit of the paint and you apply it to the edge of your product and it just kind of rolls on. Very nice. Relatively inexpensive. You can get this off of Amazon. I happen to get it at my local Tandy. I had recently done an experiment between this stuff and also hearing of a Giardini brand, which is an Italian-based company that does this edge coat, and I loved it. So I thought, you know, I've heard a lot of things about it. I've heard it being great. I'm gonna do a little experiment. I'm gonna see which one gives better coverage, which dries quicker, which one will suit my needs better. And when I did my little experiment, I found that the Giardini brand took less coats and dried quicker, and I just like the look of it better. So that's why I've since switched to this, but I'm not gonna say that it's the end all be all and that this wouldn't work. So the difference between the two is this doesn't require a base coat, this brand does. So you would have to buy the base coat dense. I just bought a little 30 ml bottle, and you roll that on first, give it a chance to dry, and then you apply your color. So I noticed that the Buckle Guy, which is a US-based company, sells a Giardini sampler pack, which I literally did about a happy dance when I saw this, because it comes with all these colors in the 30 ml size, so you can even pour them together to mix a custom color, and they're not overly huge. And this was about 70 bucks, I think, for all of these colors. The only drawback to the Giardini brand that I do want to bring to your attention is that it does have a shelf life, unlike these other brands, of a year. So if you don't do a whole lot of edge painting, or you're just looking to dabble in it, this may not be the brand you want to start with, because it might go bad before you really start to get the hang of it. That is also why I go for these little smaller ones, these 30 mLs, because I'm not worried about them going bad because they're so little. You can buy them individually from his website, or you can buy the sampler set. So basically with the Giardini brand, you're gonna apply a thin layer of this clear coat, let it dry, and then you're gonna take your actual color and take the roller tool, and then you just roll it on after. So this one has already been done, this little tab, and it just gives it a finished rounded look that I happen to like. If you don't really care, or if this is a hobby or whatever, don't feel you have to invest in these tools or do that. A simple Sharpie will work. So I hope that helps. You don't necessarily need this. Some people will use a Q-tip or a toothpick to apply. It just really depends on what you're coating, how thick it is, and how big it is. But for my patterns, they're all pretty small pieces that this does the trick, and I love it. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try to address those one by one or in another video if it turns out there's a ton of questions.